I kind of want to speak from a place of wisdom to the people who we don't really talk to the most. And how can I put this? So we always speaking to people who trying to start their path, trying to start their journeys, and they're like pretty much having a desire to be a better person, right? But we never talk to the people who really had an attitude of, I don't care, I don't want to change, I don't want to be better, right? But I want to talk to y'all today, the people who don't want to change, the people who don't want to be better. I want to talk to you today. I don't want to say I studied, but I've paid a lot of attention to those type of people, because when I was younger, I used to admire people who didn't care, right? And I admired those type of people because they seemed to be, to me, fearless. But I realized, it's unhealthy to be that way, and I was explaining to you guys yesterday how when you're not in alignment, you miss out on many blessings. So what I started to realize in the last few years is the rebelliousness of those people, you, because I'm speaking to you today, the rebelliousness of you are causing you to keep leading your life into destruction. So, if you wake up some days and you feel like life is just so against you, it's because your energy is bad. It's because you already pretty much woke up with the same mindset that you had yesterday. So let's change that mindset. Let's change how you feel about yourself. Let's change how you feel about the world and people around you. So I want to start with the root, the source is your family, right? A lot of us grew up with trauma from our family. I know some people's situations are far worse than others. So you have people who maybe, I don't know if you grew up in a foster care system. I don't know if you were just picked on and bullied as a child. I don't know if you were sexually molested or raped as a child. Whatever those things are, I know you're probably mad at God right now. I know you're probably thinking, why did this have to be my life? Why did this happen to me? Well, I'm here to tell you that everybody goes through a test so that they can have a testimony in the end, right? So what I realized recently was some people do have it harder than others. But those people who have it harder than others, I feel, and this just is my opinion, I feel that if you have it rough, if your life seems to be more worse than others, it's because your calling is bigger. So God, when He calls you, your calling is a lot bigger than the people that you see around you that you feel is doing very well for themselves today, that's flourishing or whatever. If you get on a social media platform right now with the strength to tell your truth and tell what happened to you or tell how you want to get through it or ask for help, do you know the impact that it can have on other people who's silent as well? So, and then for you to be the first person to do that, I know that's not an easy thing, but I'm telling you, the people who you fear that's going to judge you the most are the people with the most skeletons in the closet as well. So once you overcome those fears of being ashamed of your past or who you are today, even the things you probably did yesterday, long as you have set it in your mind that you want something new, you want a new outcome, you want to be different, then that's when things in your life start to change. It just started with a thought. Even God created the world and it started with just a thought. Your thoughts are so powerful, and once you realize that, you're gonna start trying to change the way you really think. And I tell people this all the time, change the way you think so you can change your life, right? So I'm gonna give you an example. If you're used to always asking for stuff, right? Try not asking for something. Try doing an act of service for the person you constantly go to and ask for things. Do an act of service for them and see if they just offer it to you. See if they just say, wow, you really did something different. I never seen you do that before. Because I test my children like that all the time. Not to compare you to a child, but I know that I tested family members like that. They always want something, but then I have needs as well. That's simple. Maybe you come over and you see I'm struggling, I'm working or whatever, and you could just do my dishes. I hate doing dishes, so that would like make me happy. And then after I get done with what I'm doing, maybe I'll take you out to eat. Maybe you were hungry, maybe you were starving. You know what I'm saying? The problem that I'm seeing a lot today is people are becoming lovers of themselves, selfish, inconsiderate, and so forth. I'm not saying that you are, but I'm just saying that these are the things that I've witnessed, that these people are really good people, but these characteristics are making them appear to be bad people. So if you have those things, are you selfish? Do you only think about your needs? Because and I know you might feel like you're way below other people around you, but you'll be surprised what people really need. And you can learn what they need by just paying attention. Like, don't dwell in the sorrow of where you at right now. Once you come out of that and start thinking positively, positive things going to start manifesting in your life, right? So, okay, so like for instance, everything that happens negatively, you could look at it in a positive way. So if your car get repoed, right, you have an ample amount of time, probably like 30 days, I think, before you could go to the lot and apply for it and get a new car. Now you got to hustle up the money. I know that's the hardest part, but you can go get a car real fast before that hits your credit and say you have a repossession. So I wouldn't sit and wait and cry and say, oh my God, this is happening to me, da, da, da. And also you got to look at it too, your actions played a part in that, because what made you get to the point of repossession? I know some people, some bad things just happen to people. So I'm not going to say that is not I'm not going to say that can't be what it is, but in most cases, it's because some people were lacking somewhere financially. And it's because they didn't have the will or the drive to get up and go do what they needed to do. And I know depression is a huge factor in that. I'm very understanding. Trust me, I've been in most of the places that a lot of people been in, and I've been some places mentally that I don't ever want to go back to. So I get it. But also, like, maybe you lost a friend that been your friend for 15, 20 years. Maybe God is removing that friend because maybe God heard conversations from that friend that you didn't hear. Maybe God know that person's true heart. Maybe God know that somebody around that person, they may not be aware, but somebody that they're conversing with, and they just, running their mouth or whatever, and they don't mean any harm, but somebody around them is dangerous. They might be over there bragging on you like, oh my God, yeah, my friend got a new Benz truck, my friend got a new apartment, my friend got this and got that, but they don't know they're speaking to your friend's enemy. To your enemy. So now you have to get rid of this person because they're just too friendly. They're just too open, and you have to let them go because they're not ready to change, or it might take time for them to change. So you don't got time to wait for them to go through their change. So now you got to cut them off because they're putting your life in danger, right? Or you might be that person. You might be the person that's constantly talking to different people. Because I was explaining one time how gossiping is a sin, because I kind of thought it was kind of strange that gossiping was a sin, but I see why gossiping is a sin. You may be sitting somewhere running your mouth and you're creating somebody's enemies because you're telling them things about the person or whatever. Like, you're being a middleman and you're connecting an evil person to a good person, or two evil people to each other, or just spreading too much information that don't need to be said, that's not even your information to spread. So I feel like God made gossiping a sin because it can lead to destruction. So once you change your mindset and you start trying to live right, it's a constant work at it. Like, I'm not perfect. Nobody is perfect. Not even the people that you look up to, admire. Some people sit up on a high platform or a pedestal or whatever, and behind closed doors they nasty. Behind closed doors they're an evil person. So I had learned real quick not to idolize people. Just don't, because some people know how to make it look like they're so rich, or they got all this money and they don't, or they know how to make it look like they're so nice and so sweet, but they be in character sometimes, and you will sit there and idolize that person, and then when you get the chance to actually meet that person, they're nothing to what you thought they were. I learned that from high school, like literally from high school, because I got close to the popular kids, and not all of them were what I thought they were in my mind. I done went to churches and the pastor wasn't what I thought, because you begin to idolize these people and they're not what they appear to be. Yeah, but I just want to try to change your mindset, the way you think and the way you feel on the inside. Like, once you get to know in your heart how God loves you, you're going to start loving yourself the same way he loves you. Because at the end of the day, he created you. So let's say you have an insecurity, right? And you wondering, like, it's a birth insecurity. Like, you had this insecurity from birth. You could question God and say, why did you make me this way? It's somebody else with that same birth defect or same, handicap or whatever it could be, that is somewhere in the world that feel like they're alone too. So if you're the first person to speak up on it, or you get to love it, you change that hate into a love, then you will help other people and encourage them to love it too. Because God made you unique and different for a reason. So once you get into know or ask God why, he'll reveal it to you. I made you different because you're strong enough to be different. I made you different because I know your mindset is different. I know that the people looking at you, they'll see this darkness that's nothing because you're beautiful. Like your characteristics is beautiful. Your personality is beautiful. Your face is beautiful. Whatever it can be, you can try to, balance it. Like, okay, I do have this flaw. I do have this insecurity, but I also have these great things that God gave me as well. And once you start tapping into that, you're going to start to love yourself as God loves you. And that's a power right there. Because I know when God started working on me and making me take off makeup and stuff and get on live and make me get on there with my hair twisted out in my natural form, I started to gain a confidence that I didn't know I had, right? And these are things that I was insecure about. I was insecure to show my real natural face, which was weird because it was all psychological. I thought that, I don't even know what I was thinking, honestly, about my face. I just felt like makeup enhanced everything and corrected all the blemishes and made my eyebrows perfect and my lips popping or whatever. But as far as like me getting on here with my hair, I've always been insecure about my hair since I was a little kid, because I know y'all heard the stories from a million times from different women, the relaxer story, whatever, but a relaxer was placed in my hair and my hair did fall out real bad, but it wasn't because of just the relaxer. It was because I was getting braids and getting relaxers at the same time. So my hair broke off and I already had naturally thin hair. So I had an insecurity about that. I had a real strong insecurity about letting people see my real hair. But what God did for me in the midst of that was he taught me how to grow my hair out. He taught me how to thicken my hair. He started showing me certain shampoos and conditioners to use that people wasn't even using. He started showing me to put like coconut oil and olive oil on my scalp. And, instead of don't blow dry your hair. Like, I literally got to a place where I blow dried my hair maybe once in a whole year. And my hair got thicker because I started realizing, like, all those little tiny hairs you see in a blow dryer comb or that you see in a little paddle brush or whatever, those hairs count. Because every time you blow dry your hair and you lose 10, 15 strands of hair, and you blow dry your hair once a week, you done lost thousands of strands by the end of the year. So God was showing me those things. He was applying wisdom to me. And in the Bible, women, and I'm not just singling out women on this live, but women in the Bible, it say that wisdom is a female, wisdom is the woman. So the way I see it is that the woman holds all the knowledge and she applies it to her. She's a helpmeet, right? So a man won't go crazy or nothing holding all this information. We have a gentle nature about ourselves. We feed that to our spouses. We feed that to our male children, and they gonna keep coming to you. You thinking you're just nurturing them, but you're feeding them wisdom. You are wisdom. So when you get to know these things from God, then you can help the world. Like, what I want to say is, I'm speaking to the women right now. We are the power source of the world. We the ones that reproduce, right? I know the man reproduces in a way too, but we the ones that bring true life into this world. We the one push the baby out of us. If we cut that off, then there won't be no more reproduction, right? So we are the power source of the world, and God, He favors us in a special way from being His daughters, like. So He wants you to get yourself together. He wants you to take care of yourself. So He's going to give you what you need to know how to be a better woman, right? And once you become a better woman, you birth better nations, because the nations come from you. So if your kids, if you're well, your children will be well. If your children is well, they're going to have healthier children. Then they're going to have healthy children. Then they're going to have healthy children. So now you done birthed a whole nation of a healthy bloodline. Because you changed the way people think. You changed the way that they take care of themselves, the way they eat, and so forth. Like, you did that because you were the one that wanted to change. You were the one that wanted to be different. So they are really standing outside the car clocking speeds. Wow. Yeah, but you were the one that wanted to be different. So if you change the way you think, you can change your whole life. And not just your life. You're going to change other people's lives around you. Because people are going to eventually catch on. You're going to lose some people along the way. But you're going to also see them. You're going to think it's mimicking you or copying you. Because they're not going to understand that I'm not just changing my appearance. I'm not just changing my job. I'm not just changing my location. I'm changing my mindset. So once they get to tap into that, some people will. They're going to want to know, what made you do this and what made you do that? People ask me when I stopped drinking and smoking, why did I stop drinking and smoking? All the time. I heard that the most. And I was actually shocked that they wanted to know more about that than they did want to know about what made me get closer to God. But they were curious, and I figured it out because it's hard to stop. It's willpower, is your mind, your mental. Like when I was vegan for 8 months. That was the hardest thing I ever accomplished in my life, right? But I did it. It was real hard for me, but every day I had to make a mental decision. And every time I put food in front of me, that I cannot taste this, what I'm used to. I cannot eat what I'm used to. If I pull up to like a fast food restaurant, let's say McDonald's, it made me go to the parts of the menu I never even looked at before. You know, like I'm eating oatmeals. You know, I'm getting the little fruit packs that the kids get in a what is those called? Happy Meals. I was getting the little apples and stuff like that. Or I'll just, oh my God. If you go to Chick-fil-A, you could get like a soup or something, you know? Like, you will start making healthier food choices, and then you will realize things start to change. Positive change in your mindset is going to give you positive outcomes. So not only did I lose like 50 pounds in like a couple of weeks, I started having clarity in my brain. I stopped having brain fog. Then I had thyroid issues. It was affecting my voice, and my voice came back. Then I had swollen, like I didn't have swollen ankles, but like every morning when I would get up and put my legs over the side of the bed, I felt a pain go down my leg into my ankles. I can't explain it. Then I would step down out the bed, and then when I put my feet on the floor, it was burning. I didn't know what that was because I wasn't even I wasn't that much overweight. But my body, this is the thing. You think you're not that big, right? And it don't look bad on you, whatever. But your body can only handle a certain type of weight. My body, I don't think I'm supposed to be over 150 pounds, literally. And I know y'all be looking at them little charts in the doctor's office like, that's crazy. But they do it just as a statistic. Your body really might be on that chart. Your body really might not be able to handle being 215, being 230, being 275. Your body can't handle it. So then you start having other problems with your bones. Then you have problems with your muscles. And then you're wondering like, what's happening? Not only are they not working properly, you're putting poison on top of it. So once I started to eat healthier, I had more energy, and then I was able to get other things done that I've never done before. And the same thing with being abstinent. Like when I refrained from abstinence, I did a lot of research or whatever, and a lot of the men had more positive outcomes from being abstinent than women, which is shocking. But yeah, they're able to think, they're able to get things done, and a lot of them men that I was watching were very successful, and they were saying that they became successful because of abstinence. Like they weren't having sex and they were able to focus. And once I started the journey, in the beginning, it's really like a mental thing because I already wasn't having sex, right? But when I started it and I consciously said I'm not having sex again, it's like saying you're gonna go on a diet. It's like every cake, every pie, every ice cream look good to you, and you really don't even probably eat sweets and sugars like that. But it's just like when you say you're not gonna have sex anymore, now you want to have sex because you're making a conscious decision not to. So it's like the devil fights you and try to trick you to actually do the act that you're trying to get rid of, that you're trying to stem away from. So what I did during those times where I was feeling weak, I would work out. I would get on the floor, I would stretch, I would read the Bible, I would do just some type of activity that changed what I was thinking. And literally it'll happen in like a matter of seconds. It didn't take long. Like, as soon as I stretch and get to start in a stretch, that thought went away. It went away like instantly. And the more intense times, I'll pray. I done cried and prayed. So the more intense it got, I just prayed. But yeah, change your mindset, change the way you think, and it's gonna change your whole life, literally. And the harder your life has been, I feel like the bigger your calling is. Like, the more people you're gonna be able to reach, because even if you have a unique story, people gonna want to know that unique story. People are very keen on what is it? They just like knowing things. Like, it's a lot of people out there that love knowledge. There's a lot of people out there that just like to know stuff. Then I remember I read a scripture so many different times in the Bible, and it said it's more of us than it is of them. Meaning, there's more good people in the world than it is evil people in the world, but it just doesn't look like it, because shockingly, the good people be behind the scenes, so you really not gonna see them. You see evil flaunted all day, every day in your face, but it's way more good people than there is bad people. So when you get to telling your story and your testimonies, there are people that want to help. They're sitting somewhere on reserve, waiting for you to come forward so they can help you. They've been planning for this their whole life. They've been training for this their whole life. And giving them the opportunity, they're going to step up, and you're going to see people, all types of people, come forward to help you. When I went viral, a lot of people did reach out to me. They did want to help me get on the spiritual path. They did want to cover me and things like that. But God was just telling me, like, no, he would be my covering. So, but it shocked me to know how much help was out there. It really did. It really shocked me to know that these people were just laying dormant somewhere, just, observing and watching, and they came forth at the right time, at their appointed time. But God wanted to show me his strength and show me his resources and stuff like that. And I know that they're there. So if I ever had a weak moment where I felt like I needed someone, and I had these moments, but I just never came forth and said anything, but because I just wanted to, when God told me that he was going to be my covering, that's what replay in my mind a lot. So you may not need to come out and say it to nobody in the world. You might just need to go straight to God, straight to the Bible, straight to the source. I spent countless years researching everything in that Bible, okay? And it helped me. So every time I come into a situation or come against a situation, I can literally quote a Bible scripture to myself, or I remember to go into prayer. And it really do deliver me from whatever it is that's being done to me. All of this stuff is like energy. So if you operate out of a bad energy, then you're going to attract bad energy. Once you Hey guys, I feel like the bigger your calling is, like, everything on top of it. So once I started to eat